Hi, this is McJty for my next episode of my Let's Play, and here I'm finally going to make that dimension. So I made the right efficiency dimlets, so let me go over it once more. So we have a solid terrain, so up to 128 solid. We have stone as default material, so that ores generate. Highland for the emeralds, single biome. So there are, let me order them, 4 efficiency dimlets for 80% cost reduction, and 2 mediocre efficiency for the remaining 10%, because you can go up to 10% of original cost. So that's the best you can do. Then dimensional shard ore, I found this one, so I thought interesting to add. Glowstone, nether quartz and ore gems, so that means that we will get additionals of these. No structures, no effects, default weather. It's not possible yet to craft no weather, so, and the noon dimlet. So if you store that, you get 2300, which is still a lot. But the biggest problem is the 700,000 RF per tick during creation. And so what I did is I infused the dimension builder. Let me take that one out. So that means a common misconception is that infusing the dimension builder will actually help maintain the dimension, but that's not true. Dimensions consume power on their own, and it doesn't matter if the builder is infused or not. But what does help is the creation cost and the creation time. So I'm hoping this will at least make it go a bit faster. And I also made 8 top tier photovoltaic cells, which I'm going to place in that dimension. But for now I want to place them here to help, to help a bit, because this is going to need a lot of power. I wanted to make more than these 8, but it's rather complicated to make them. So I'm probably in this episode I'm going to start on working a new system, actually. Oh, just the border, to automatically generate EnderIO things. So let me sleep, because I want that dimension, it's eternal day, I want it to be able to generate its own power, so I need a lot of those photovoltaic cells so that it can work on its own. Okay, these are starting to work now. That's good. So let me start. Oh, I'm stuck. Okay, maybe I should install an elevator there. So, okay, let me try to create it. This will take a long time. So not going to wait for that. It will get there eventually. You can put multiple power cells around it to increase the input of power, but I don't want to deplete. I need my systems running. Actually, I'm going to disable this one. So this is already going to deplete the power of my base pretty quickly, and I don't have enough power production, I think, for the total. It's at 2%. Okay, so I will be back when it's ready, which will be a while. By the way, using the acceleration wand on this doesn't really help, because the limiting factor is the power input, and yes, You can accelerate as much as you want. You won't get more power. So that trick is not available right now. In the meantime, I was busy making another crystal. Let's see how that goes. Ah yes, it's busy purifying. Oh, actually, my first lava drum is empty, it seems. I also have to check that I still have enough. Oh, there's a missing texture there. Okay, but this is okay. Good that I spot this. The other side is okay, so. Okay, that's one bug that I have to fix. Okay, this is going. I'll be back. Nearly there. I temporarily put a new power cell on top to make it go a bit faster. So if there are no bugs, it hopefully comes out exactly like the way I planned it. So we'll see. Almost. And then of course it has to fill the buffer. Okay, there it is. So now let's already dial it. But I forgot to give it a name. Check it. I can always give the receiver a name, that's no problem. Yes, indeed. So, okay, our power is doing. We can't keep up at the moment because it's completely filling that buffer as fast as it can. So let me remove this one. And now it's gaining again. And this one. Okay, the dimension is ready. Let's go there. Yes. Okay, apparently the spawn platform was. And then the torches is underground. So I have to go up first. But apparently it is the right type of terrain, at least. Okay, this is going a bit slow. Also, yeah, the power is holding up, that's good. Wanted to check to be sure. Okay, apparently I got magma smiles and lots of cows. That's interesting. And I have to check what other features I have, but other than that it seems exactly like what I wanted, and it's eternal day, that's ideal. Okay, so that looks good. Let me put the power cell here so that this receiver stays powered. And going to check exactly what the dimension specs were, because I forgot to do that. Oh, and I need to place an activity probe. So that's another thing I forgot. So the dimension, yeah. Oh, which? Okay, which is not that good, but so okay, I will make an activity probe, put it there so that it doesn't constantly drain power, and then we can think about setting up a quarry of some sorts there. I also would like to move the solar power there, but I will do this only after I make sure I have enough solar power to completely handle the cost. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back, and I wonder what all those red things are on the minimap. So I want to go and explore and see what's there exactly. Looks a bit weird. Okay, so I'll make here's spiders already. Oh, it's one of those. Okay, I see. I didn't expect them to generate, and witches, of course. Okay, I better close this off. Like this. Okay, that mystery is solved then. So, the dimension is ready, but I'm not ready to use it yet. First, I would like to have more solar panels so that it can stand on its own. And also, it's going to produce a lot of stuff, and I already have a lot of stuff. So I think it's time to make a dedicated area for processing ores and generating materials. So I made a new floor. Which is here. And here is where I will put all kinds of machines to process my ores, to make sure I have enough stock of everything, to make glass, to make sand, also to make the EnderIO stuff and so on. So basically what I want to do is is to move everything that is, let me go there. So everything that is here, these machines should move there. So you also see there are currently, let me check, 6 different processing machines, but they are all dedicated to one specific type of ore. For example, this one, which is currently not doing anything, so this one is doing iron. Okay, is my iron finally processed? Let me see. Oh yes, indeed it is. But basically what the problem is that most of these machines are idle while there is still a lot of work to do. So I want to make a system of RFTools Control where these machines are allocated to some ore for which it is most needed. So for example, if I'm low on iron and the rest is okay, it will fill all these with iron ore, and so it will go through the backlog more quickly. So these machines will go away here, and this area will be dedicated to storage, because I will need a lot of storage, and because my main storage scanner is here, and it's a pain to move that one, because it's linked to various machines all over the world. So basically that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to turn this off and break this down and move it to the other place with some changes. I'll be back. So everything cleaned up, my inventory full of machines, and this area will need to be cleaned up a bit. I want to rearrange the storage, these modular storages for example. It's a bit ugly, all this, so this will be rearranged. But other than that, it's all okay. So now I'm going to start working on the processing area. I'll be back. Okay, so this is the basic machinery, just a bunch of sag mills, and they send their items just to allow smelters whichever is available. Okay, and then everything is extracted into the remote storage. So as soon as I put something in there, say some copper ore, it gets processed, and it gets, if there are byproducts, they will be distributed, like this one. Sometimes you have gold as well. Okay, so this works, this is easy, no special thing. Sometimes there may be byproducts that are not smeltable. If that's the case, I will install filters and pipe those byproducts directly into the remote storage. But for now this works, and now I want to manage the input of these with RFTools Control. Okay, so I made an extension to RFTools Control. I added a new opcode call function. So what does this program do? Basically it loops, so wait, let me first show you this. So this is a chest that's going to control what ores we process. So it contains the ore, the output, and the block output in block form, because the reason for that is because we store most of our stuff in block form automatically with another RFTools Control program that makes sure we also always have 2 stacks of this, and the rest is converted. So when we want to base the input of this on the items we have available, so we want to calculate how much ores we have and how much of these we have, and this is done with this function. So this function takes variable 0 as input, which is the index of the ore, so one of these 4. It checks if there is ore available, and if so it returns null. The idea is that this function will calculate the cost, the benefit of processing that ore. So if there's no ore available, it will return null because there's no benefit in processing this. That's what this one does. Then it adds 1 to the index to count the ingots, and it adds 2 to the index to count the blocks, and it multiplies that number by 9, and eventually this should return the number of items to process. So if we have more, we want to return less. In this case we don't do that yet, but this is just a test to show it. So here we loop over, we loop from 1 to 4. No, so sorry, not from 1. Variable 1 we loop from 0 to 4, and we multiply that by 3. So that means we get this, 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 and this. And for each of these 4 we call the function, and we print out what it says. So either null if there are 0 if there are no ores, or the number of ingots calculated from the number of blocks plus the number of ingots. So let's try this out. Okay, so it actually went one further. The loop inclusive, of course, so 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. But the end result is the number of ingots for example, for copper. We have 28,000 ingots. Let's check that. Copper, so these, and then these times 9, which, yeah, it should be about that number. So that looks right. And the second one was iron, and so on. So using this function, which we have to refine, of course, it needs to return a different number, an inverse number. But then we can find out which ores we should start processing. So we will calculate the best score here in this loop, and then we will set the current mode of this machine to processing that ore until we re-evaluate this. So that's basically how this will work. I will continue on this further now. Okay, so I added another few things to RFTools Control. There is now new vector category, and so this is the same function. I changed one thing. Instead of returning null, this returns a huge value, so I just have to look for the minimum now, because the minimum that is returned from this function, that's the ore I want to process. So what I do, I make a new empty vector, store it in variable 3, and then I do the loop as before, and every result I push to the vector. So I add this to the vector and store it again, and when the loop ends, I come here, I take that vector, calculate the minimum value, that's a function, and print that. This minimum value is actually the index, so the minimum index. So let's try this out. It's already here, I already did it, but basically, so these are the counts for the ores. The fifth one, well, there is nothing there, so that's normal, and it finds that ore with index 2 is the minimum, so 0, 1, 2, that's this one, which would be silver. So it would start with this program, which isn't finished yet, it would start processing silver. So that's basically how it works now. This calculation is of course pretty expensive, so I'm not going to do that often. I will check out how much I actually needed. So okay, so I will continue working on this now. So I added a status screen. This has a variable. It's a RFTools Control screen module. It's linked to that one, and it's being set in variable 4 here. So after the loop, and it finds the minimum index, it multiplies that with 3, and then it gets the item in that slot and it shows the name of that, so you can see what it is going to do. So I might need to fine-tune this bit so that all machines are busy, but it is in fact working. So there is a second program here that runs all the time and fetches the current active. Oh, it switched to copper. That's nice. So it found out that there's suddenly less copper than silver. I guess they were close. So that's good. So these are set to round robin. It's a weird effect, okay. But this will be, I will continue improving this, and it will be for next episode, because it's time to wrap up now. And also I need to release this new version of RFTools Control with these extra options. I also have to check out that there are no intermediates that can't be processed, but so far it seems okay. I'm probably going to increase the rate at which items are fetched, so that's this one. Let's double that to 14 and see what happens. Okay, seems better. I'm trying to get the machines to be active all the time to have good speed. But anyway, time to wrap up. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.